This video will complement a lot of the material that you learned in chapters 1 and 2 by demonstrating some of the activities in chapter 3. So if you look at your items on this particular spreadsheet, most of what we're going to be working with is this home ribbon band up at the top. So from the home ribbon band, we are going to select cell B12, and then we're going to make this or rotate the text in the cell by using the align orientation feature. And you can see this was really simple. I can choose any one of these angles, my text pops around, and it's all beautiful. Now, that last option was to format the items in the cell. I also want to stress that every one of these items on the ribbon band has a little arrow with a box in it that takes you to the dialog box. So here we are at the dialog box, and you can see I can throw in some more options. So the text is right now at 45 degrees. If I want to change it and make it 60 degrees, I highlight whatever number I have here, click on, type in 60, and then click OK, and it changes. I'm going to change it back to 45 because that's the angle that we want. And you can see that in the dialog box it changed to 45 by just clicking on that option as well. You need to remember there's always 3 or 4 ways to do the same thing. The next option I want to cover is very important because it's creating a series. You can do a series in many different ways. This one, in the text, they're demonstrating creating a series of months. So the month of July is already created, is started. So all I have to do is get my fill handle, which you can see that I've got a white plus, but when I come over the cell, it's still white until I get down to this little right-hand corner and it turns black and empty. That's the fill handle. When I click on that and drag my mouse, I am now filling those options for the months of the year. Now, I want to come over to this another sheet and demonstrate other types of autofill options. Autofill is an option that's built into Excel. So whenever you're trying to work with something like, let's say, quarters, we always have 4 quarters in a year. So Excel knows that. It's an accounting program, so when I want to fill them, I just go to the 4 quarters. If I want to repeat it, I can do it column-wise or row-wise. So this one I'm going to repeat row-wise. So you can see that it just counts to 4 every time and starts a new one. Now, undoing that, and I'm going to start a different series. This time, let's say it's an inventory item, and it's an AU, and I want to start with 1001. So because I ended that with a 1, Excel's saying, this might be a series. So when I pull down and do an autofill, da-da, see it automatically filled that in increments of 1. Now you can choose different increments. Let's say that I have the number 1 and I want it to increase every 7, so I add the number 8, highlight this information, and pull it down. So there's tons of different things that you can do with this autofill feature that are really nice, and you'll get in the habit of using them. Well, I'm going to demonstrate one other. You can create a series. Let's say that I have these names and I want to use them in a series. What I did there was I created the series, then I went up to the first word, highlighted, and all the names in the series, and now I am going to pull that down, and I've got a repeat of that particular series. All right, I want to come back to my original sheet and start to do some of the other things. One of the other features that you're going to be working on is the copy paste feature. In this exercise, I want to indent this text and copy it further up in the worksheet. Why would you do that rather than type it? Because oftentimes when you retype something, you make a mistake. You make the wrong letter or a space or something, and then it's not exactly the same. When you're using these as labels to extract data, it's really important to have the labels exactly the same. So you use a copy and paste a lot whenever you're repeating something. So here I'm going to indent this, and I can do that through my formatting tool, through my home ribbon band under alignment, and again, increase indent. So now let's copy. I'm going to right click and copy and zip up to the area I want to copy to, which is cell A2, and notice that that area that I just copied has those little dancing ants around it. The dancing ants are just an indication that it's in the memory of the clipboard. You can change this, and you can have it, if I hit my escape key right now, they go away, but because I want to use them, I just want to paste them, and again, right click my mouse and paste. Now, you don't have to use the right click. I love the right click in all of these Office 2007, 2010 products because they have all these mini menus and I don't have to remember which ribbon band things are on. The paste feature is also here on the home ribbon band, and I could have used any one of the options that's available to paste that text. Okay, let's go to the next option, which would be formatting the numbers. First, what I'm going to do is turn off the dancing ants. How do you do that again? Escape. That was your quiz. Okay. Now, so here we go. Let's highlight the numbers and hit the comma style for accounting and see it automatically works. So I'm going to go to my number, comma style accounting, and if I want to get more options, I just choose in the more options feature, and I've got many different things I can do with numbers, and you can choose different symbols to use in front of them. You can really go crazy with this area. Now these four items that are expressed in hundredths, those are actually supposed to be percentages, so I then need to format it for percent. When I click on the percent option, I lost my decimals. So what I want to do is increase the decimals. I come back up to number, choose it's not decrease, I want to increase my decimals, so I click on it twice. And now my decimals are out there 2 spaces. So that gets that one working in the right direction. I'm going to bring this column in a little bit. Ah, look what happened. The little pound signs. That's just telling me that not that there is something there, but the column's not big enough for it. So I can fix that by just clicking on the items, going to format, and do an auto fit column width, and it will fix it for me. Okay, now I want to create a formula in this particular spreadsheet. One thing I want to stress is that when you create a formula, use your mouse or your arrow keys. Don't type the cell reference in, because for one thing, your eyes aren't perfect. They'll mess up on you. And the other thing is you tend to make mistakes when you do that. See, I know right now that what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my equal sign, and I'm going to take whatever number is in this cell. See, and it puts the cell reference in there. Now I want to multiply. So I hit the multiplication symbol, and I also hit my parenthesis, and I say 1 minus this percentage, 57.50. Okay, and I hit my other side of the parenthesis. Now I'm going to do this wrong on purpose, and that's because I want to demonstrate how this next feature works. So if I click enter, I've got my correct answer. Looks like I need to reformat that cell, but now I want to copy this data row-wise across. Let's take a peek. And I'm going to turn my dancing ants off with my escape key. Let's take a peek at this formula. Okay. If you look here, I now have a correct formula, which is actually reflecting off of that marketing cell, and I have an incorrect formula. It's going to a blank cell. So C14 is always going to be 1 minus nothing. So, so what I need to do is to get it so that it always uses that B4 cell. And you do that using the absolute cell reference. The book covers this on page 162, and it talks about absolute cell references. The easiest way to make that cell absolute is to go up to the formula bar, click into the cell, and hit your F4 function key. It's now absolute. Absolute meaning that column B has a dollar sign in front of it, and column 4 has, and row 4 has the dollar sign in front of it. They are absolutely always going to be that option unless I hit F4 again. And now if you look, column B does not have the dollar sign in front of it, so it's going to change if I should copy this column wise. And row 4 does have the dollar sign in front of it. So let's see what happens if I do that. And I copy across. Let's do the copy again. So you can see right here that formula is still wrong. It's working with C that has nothing in it again. So I need to come back and click inside the cell, hit the F4 function key. Now it's just B4, and let's see what happens if I just do that one. Okay, now we're back, and well, B4 that one works because I'm in cell B4 all the way across, and that's because I am always in the column is the one that I wanted to stay constant. So either the dollar sign in front of both items would work with that one, or just in front of the column B. So I want to turn off my formula, looking at the formula feature, and remember that's the control tilde, and the tilde is that little item right next to the number 1 on your keyboard. So there we go. All right, next item. I only have time for one more. That is the date. So when I click on the function, I can choose any one of these date options. The date option that I want to choose is now, and that what now does is it will be the internal date of our computer, Now it'll choose the format. I want to choose a different format, so I'm going to come up to my number formats, go to date, and choose this one. It doesn't matter which one at this point unless they've specified it, but that's the one that we're going to choose. So I can do one other thing I want to show you with this, with the date feature that's nice. Date is actually a number. So when I put in the now and I tried to make a shortcut here and I didn't get the whole formula. So there's a formula. When I put in the @now function and choose date, let's go here and maybe choose this one. Okay, so now I want every 15 days from that point. So if I hit equals whatever date that is plus 15, I've got the date, and I can copy that down. What's wrong here? Column isn't wide enough. Make it a little bit wider. Okay, so that's not all the time I have for this video, and I'll be doing some supplementary ones for you. Thank you. Bye.